Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I am Monte Carlo, and welcome to a State of the Game address for the week of 4/20. And let's just go ahead and say that I haven't been able to get these out as fast as I wanted to, especially during this first week after SkillUp has left and not doing these anymore. But I wanted to go ahead and at least get this out for you so you guys can get my State of the Game address and know my opinions on things so that we can keep things rolling. I've been super busy at work lately, so that is why mainly I haven't been able to do this. I don't work YouTube full time, and I definitely don't even, I try to do it part time as a hobby, but that is about it. So, they opened up with a lot of 420 references since it was 420. 420. So yeah, and Yannick or Hamish joked that he was talking about whether or not he'd have a job tomorrow. Obviously he did. So apparently they aren't that big on smoking weed and 420 and all that stuff over in Malmo, Sweden. So, but let's just keep getting things rolling. I've had a busy week, and Comic-Con was this week here in the Silicon Valley, so I have some pictures for that I might be able to share with you. We had a good time. I was able to meet a lot of celebrities, most notably like Adam Savage, super cool guy, and a couple of the other people there, like Stephen Yeun from The Walking Dead and John Cusack. Got to meet all those people thanks to my work, and it was awesome. So the PTS, let's go ahead and just dive right in. PTS started on Friday for anybody who has the 1.6.1 patch, and nothing bad happened, so it's obviously up since it started on Friday. It was apparently good enough to bring out some of the older YouTubers who haven't made any Division YouTube videos, and they just wanted to get in on those lucky views for the loadouts and stuff like that. But I'll have a whole recap on the PTS soon and the patch notes, and I'll give you guys my loadout info and whatever else that I can do in another video, probably one right after this or tomorrow or something like that. But with that said, a few days ago, don't worry, console players, also the PTS will be, at least for this one, will be PC only, but they will have for 1.7, they're trying to put up a console version of it. And just a few things about the PTS: when you make a character, you will magically be jumped up to level 30. Your characters will have, the normal, if you're on PC, your normal characters will be there. They'll be level 24, they'll be level 16, whatever level they are. They don't jump up to level 30. And you will need the season pass to, get into The Last Stand, which is what they want you to test right now with loadouts and all of that stuff. They want you to go ahead and test that stuff. But Survival and Underground won't be available. They don't have anything they want you to test on that. So if you don't own the DLC, you can play the normal game, but you can't play with the Last Stand. So most of the State of the Game discussed the loadout stuff on the PTS. This was, not really the place for it, in my opinion. I think we need to at least let it marinate for like a week before we actually start talking about it, and they need to focus on news and not hypothetical stuff. So hopefully we'll get back to that. In more important news, what they did add into the PTS is proficiency marks for the Last Stand. So that's the one thing they want to focus on and get that going. So we'll be checking that out. And as a highlight, loadouts won't actually be in 1.6.1. They will be released in 1.7. 1.6.1 is focusing on bug fixes, and not really. I applaud them for not putting out loadouts in 1.6.1, and a lot of people are probably like, "Oh, Monte Carlo, I really, really, really want loadouts." But this will allow them to focus on getting it right and refining it, so that people who might exploit it aren't going to have a chance to do that right off the bat. So this is going to be great, and this is important because I've seen a lot of people talking about this, and they are 100% without a doubt not going to nerf DeadEye. Let me just say this: they are not nerfing DeadEye. They are only investigating. This is not the case of people complaining about DeadEye and then them nerfing it. This is not that. The facts are that they are just looking into it, and and their main concern is with the Seeker Mine nerf, things are going to be pretty unstable, and they're looking at hoping that the DeadEye doesn't become the new meta. And so that is the main thing that they're looking at. They don't want it to become the meta, and so they are looking at this as a possible nerf, but not 100%. If you guys don't use the DeadEye and 100% of the people aren't using DeadEye, and it's not the go-to build that everybody goes to, then they're not going to nerf it. It'll just stay the way it is. So, in my honest opinion, they need to figure out a way to better combat Seeker Mine mines rather than nerfing them, but that is, you know, that is neither here nor there. That's not my opinion. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the fixes in 1.6 that are coming. They're making that change to nimble, so they're going to be nerfing it. It's going to be heal over time instead of an instant healing once you get to that cover, and you have to stay in cover the entire time in order to get the full effect of the heal. So, you know, this is a cover-based shooter, you know, if you know, and this was always the way that it was intended. It wasn't like they're deciding to nerf it right off the bat. And, you know, if you leave cover, you're not going to get that heal. So there's a bug with the recalibration station. Shocking to hear that, you know, you couldn't roll up to, so if something was like 17%, you couldn't roll up to 17%. You could only roll up to 16%. And so with the broken RNG, it would be really hard to actually determine whether or not this was a bug, but, you know, they fixed that. So shrapnel, wildfire, and the electronic stuff, they're going to be fixing that. So just to note, these are fixes for 1.6.1, and they're not fixes for now. So that they won't be in the game now. They are going to be in the game once 1.6.1 is released. So that is something that you need to be looking forward to. Other things of importance, you know, the burst fire weapons, they're going to be throttling the burst fire weapons so that, you know, you can't use a macro or your Elite Xbox controller to increase the fire rate of those, and that's going to hurt a lot of people who think they're good in the game. So all you people that think you're good in the game, all you rogues that are going out there and using these macros, well, you're going to be right back into the thick of things with your really crappy aim and all that stuff. The biggest thing that I think that they're going to fix, and hopefully I'll be able to do a video on this, is the flinch to shotguns, which is absolutely terrible. Why anybody would put in something that was so game breaking is just ridiculous. I've never seen anything look worse. You know, this thing was a blight on the game. It was absolutely terrible. So all those shotgun metas out there that people are using, those are going to go away as well. You know, people that are using strikers and shotguns, the only reason they're using those is because it makes it so that, you know, the flinch is just unbearable and people can't shoot back. So that's going to be another thing that's going to be crossed off the meta list for that. And then obviously the biggest change is to seeker mines. They're going to be nerfing that. This is a huge nerf. I mean, whether you like it or not, you know, they didn't figure out a way to combat the seeker mines. You know, even though rogues, like, if you go into the dark zone and you see, like, you go up into that corner where people are, they have found a way to make it so that you can't actually throw seeker mines up there, and that's by throwing turrets. And I've said this time and time again, people are just too dumb to listen. You know, you can throw your turret down and the seeker mines will go for the turrets. I've actually seen a lot more people actually being smarter about this, and especially in The Last Stand, throwing turrets out, you know, to combat seeker mines, and it works. Like, it works 100% of the time. It's just, you know, people are just, you know, they're whiners and they're criers about it, and they just don't want to listen. You know, they don't want to run a turret, you know, or something like that to combat a seeker mine. But the game is about combating, you know, the things that you do. But, you know, Massive is bowed to your wills and is nerfing the seeker mines. So it doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. You know, somebody will come up with something new, and we'll see something new next week, or, you know, in the coming weeks as we refine the gear once again. Now, the nerf to the seeker is that you will get a base amount of damage, and then they're going to apply damage over time to the fire effect afterwards, which actually might be more beneficial to the people that are doing it. So fire resistance is going to be a bigger thing, and the being able to stack fire damage on top of that. So using like wildfire with this is going to be very effective to getting a lot of people set on fire. So, and they're going to try and fix the ballistic shield, you know, and talents getting stuck with, you know, skill builds and stuff like that, because we, you know, don't want to do that. And then there's going to be loads of mission fixes with a lot of things, but honestly, those are hugely unimportant right now. The stolen signal fix is probably the biggest one. They're going to fix the HVT stuff, but all of this stuff is in 1.6.1, and we'll cover it in the patch notes as well. So thank you so much for watching. There wasn't a whole lot other stuff in the state of the game other than the usual, you know, Hamish looking lovingly into the camera, you know, with his glossy eyes and giving you that fuck me stare and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. So thank you for your time. If you like this, drop a like on it. We're going to be hopefully getting these out much more frequently and actually on time. I'm going to try and stick around for some of the state of the games. It's like 4 a.m. my time when they come out. So that means means I have to wake my ass up at the butt crack of dawn and do that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more State of the Game. We put out our vendor reset yesterday, and I'm going to try and expand it to doing just more of the Dark Zone as well. There's not a whole lot of stuff this week for the vendor reset, so that's a good thing. And obviously, you know, we're gonna keep rolling with these things and trying to get you out more Division content as we go around. If you like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, been streaming that pretty recently, so go ahead and hop on and the stream for that. I do like chatting with the people while we're playing, and so we'll just go with that. So thank you very much for watching. That's been my time for all of us here at the Division Vendor Reset and State of the Game. I am Mounty Curl, and we'll keep the light on for you. Agent out.